All right, Shalom. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Makakadash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to all the brothers and their few sisters out there. So this is thy foreigners from the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Shalom in the Hebrew, which means peace. So the one is edifying show, prophetic. That's what we aim for, through the spirit, edification, prophetic, because the prophetic scriptures and the prophetic sayings is what gives us the backbone to say what we say and feel confident in what we say, because it's a prophecy. We say what comes before time. And I can remember many, many, many years ago, as a young man in his truth, we used to always talk about how the U.S. of A, United States of America, which is Babylon the Great, will enter some turbulent time, and is going to be far greater of a depression that man has ever seen. And we used to say this a lot of times, and lo and behold, 2019, end of 2019, 2020, change all the perspectives that everybody had, and the things that we were saying wasn't so far-fetched because we wasn't in it. And leaving 2021, 2022, when everything seemingly went back to some sort of normal, I guess, but it was never normal. It was never the same. All this was never the same. So, knowing that the day of reckoning was coming, and when it happens, it comes to realization that all these years of us saying these things, of course, it's coming true. But we didn't know how the extent of this day of reckoning is. This is a slow burner, a slow kill, which means this is going to be the most painfulest things ever. And, as all news we always bring out through the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and these news always complement the scriptures, because that's how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to take what's going on and filter out with the scriptures. And lo and behold, one of the greatest things that you can ever see is happening, other than World War III. Obviously, the Nero link, or Revelation 13 and 16. Before all that, the cause and effect for all these things is a recession will unfold this summer and last through the middle of 2024. Evercore chairman says. So, a recession is when, three stock markets quarters don't meet a certain point, so they want to call it a recession. We always been some sort of recession, but what they fail to tell the people is that these are not really things of recession. These are things of depression. Now, I live in New York City. I can speak for myself, and brothers in New York can speak as well. But brothers throughout the whole country can speak the same thing, what I'm about to say. When you drive around, and sometimes you drive around by a church, or just regular stores, and you see a long line of people with shopping carts. Do you know those long line of people with shopping carts are there for food? And the food lines are getting humongous. And these people are receiving free food from the pantries. Now, this has been going on for really a long period of time. But let's say from 2020 on, more and more people find themselves in the food pantry. And those are the signs of a recession. Now, they're saying that a recession will unfold, meaning we didn't even get to the recession part. So what do you think is going to happen when all these people that's been in the food pantry getting food for free can't get the food anymore because the lines are getting longer because a lot more people are going broke. And this is before they officially saying that we hit a certain amount. Now there's even saying in California, Skid Row, it's gotten worse. Homelessness has gotten far worse, and we're not. And once again, we're not in a recession. They're playing games. So I'm gonna read some of this article, and I'm gonna get some scriptures. It says signs of trouble brewing in the economy suggests a recession will unfold this summer and last through mid next year, according to Evercore chairman Ed Heyman. Now here's another tidbit which did a show about the ceiling debt, and I believe maybe the same news break said that even Trump. No, actually it was let me get this real quick. I guess I'm gonna just do articles. There it is. Russia Today says Trump calls for U.S. Debt default. So if the U.S. calls for their debt default, that means that they can't pay their credits. They can't pay their debt, sorry. Which means they're not reliable. It says former president said the government is spending money like drunken sailors. Former U.S. President Trump and said Republicans should allow the federal government to default on its debt, on its $31 trillion debt if Democrats do not agree to massive spend cuts, urging the GOP to take harder line in negotiation to raise the debt ceiling. Speaking on a town hall event hosted by CNN on Wednesday night, Trump was asked how lawmakers should address the looming debt crisis as the two major parties are struggling to reach a deal on a federal borrowing limit, which currently sits at 31.4 trillion. I say to the Republicans out there, congressmen, senators, if they don't give you massive cuts, you're going to have to do a default, Trump said, adding that he believes the Democrats will absolutely cave before they allow that to happen. Trump went to slam the government for spending like drunken sailors, urging officials to slash budgets and reduce the debt, warning our country is being destroyed by stupid people. Which he's not lying, because that's the name of the game. All right, this is the total demolition of what they once knew was America. So let me go back to this article, because it all fits in one. This is all great news, all happening in one time. It says back in this one, it says the economy now is very strong. Bullshit. It's amazing, but I'm patient. I think that by the summer, we'll start to see recession unfold. How? You already have inflation. All right. Now they're talking about hyperinflation, U.S. dollars dropping, and now they're saying that how is the economy was strong? It was never strong. This is all the false indication. This is bad dealings by bad people, bad actors doing bad deals, and now the people who is gonna be affected by it. And the reason why I brought up the food pantry, because that's the factual thing. People are struggling. Another article I read said that most Americans don't even have, let's say like $400. Maybe it was a news thing. In emergency money. Most people don't even have emergency money. They just gotta pay bills. People are taking or not paying certain bills to pay other bills to keep going. So how was the economy strong? To show you that everything was just falsified. All right, it was all falsified. It says the market veteran said in an interview with Bloomberg on Tuesday, adding that he didn't foresee several recessions like in 2008. and downturn will be brought on due to the Fed's aggressive monetary tightening policies. Oh yeah, and then they put the interest rate up as well. And then they're trying to get rid of the dollar. So they're doing a whole bunch of stuff in one time. That means that a lot of pain and suffering is coming. It says Heyman said, especially, and Heyman obviously is a small hatter, especially since other central banks around the world, such as European Central Bank, are tightening policies at the same time. If we're tightening and other central banks are tightening, so it's not so bad. But if we're tightening and other central banks are tightening, and make our tightening much more aggressive on the economy, he added. Wait a minute, aren't they not a whole bunch of banks are going down under? So how was the economy ever good? It says the full impact of tightener Fed policy is also delayed by about 16 months. Heyman said, citing research from the economist John Keynes, it means it could take another year for full consequences of the Fed's move to bubble to surface. Wow. So this is going to be a long, dragged out, painful event. And man, all praises to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, because this shows the things that they're saying and the things that they're doing, the effect that people are feeling the effect right now. Stores are dropped, people are getting laid off, all these things, and you telling us that this is not in a recession, we're not in some sort of depression as we speaking. This is gonna be wow. It says though the economy is already starting to flash warnings that a downturn is imminent. In particular, Heyman pointed to contrast in money supply stemming from recent bank failures, as well as the inversion of 2 to 10 Treasury yield curves, which are known as a notorious predator of coming recession. I have never forecast a recession this far in advance, he says, suggesting that the Fed didn't need to keep rates at a current level. Interest rates are hovering between 5 and 5.25, the highest level since 2007. Numerous experts or commenters have flagged the growing risk of recession over the past year as central bankers raise interest rates and reduce size of Fed's balance sheet to tame inflation. High rates and rapid drowning of liquidity up to risk the economy enters a downturn with 68% chance the U.S. tips into a recession within the next 12 months, according to the New York Fed's Recession Possibility Index in April. And that was it. So they playing games, man. This is the playing games. Ecclesiastes 12:1, because at the end of the day, all these bank terminology, all these banks, all these things is going on. This is go for every single man, Israelite man that's out there. What have you been doing for your life? What have you been doing in your life? You know? Because if you're full invested into this world, the experts and the forecasters are all telling you, I believe Peter Schiff also said the same thing, that this form of what we known as America is finished. It's through. There's no recouping after this. Things are changing. So what did you do in your life? We know what we did. You know what we sacrificed for. All right. Ecclesiastes 12:1 says, remember now that thou creator in the days of thy youth. So all those times people have been putting and investing into the society. The average person can't even get no money from their 401k. You still will get charged from your 401k, but now your 401k is not going to be your 401k. It's going to be your 201k. Your careers don't matter. Everything is moving to digital. All right. Everybody's about to be replaced with artificial intelligence. Every manual labor work or simple work that could be easily replaced by robots and so forth. So all you people out there has been fully invested in, you get up. Yeah, one thing to get up and you got to do what you got to do to pay your bill. That's one thing. But people put their life, they call this their career and so forth. All that time you should have been wasting. All that time that you wasted, you should have been spending your time in the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai. All right? It says, remember now that creators in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. Because it was boring. It was boring to serve the Lord according to these people. It was boring to invest into scriptures and time. It was all about having fun. It was all about partying, living your best life, and so forth. And what is that going to give you? That's not going to give you the satisfaction that you need. That's not going to give you the security that you need. Because if they, like I stated before, if they're saying this now, meaning that we have not entered to that dark place. So when we do supposed to enter that dark place, how dark is going to get? All right, you're gonna wish you had some sort of answer, but you're not. All you people been, man. I'm sitting every day. I look at people. People is full. Their mind is fully on fluff, on foolishness. All right. Now the evil days are upon us, and they're not gonna know what to do because Eve meaning bad. Eve meaning time. Ill meaning bad. So bad. The bad days are here. While the sun or the moon. While the sun or the light, or the moon, or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and they are about to tremble. They are trembling. All right. Oh no. Let me see. I know what was that article? Because there was another article. I gotta look for the headline if it's still here. This thing just pops up, news break. But it had to do something with New York. Okay, this is one. It says, that's yesterday. Stocks would drop as the economy is either about to enter a recession or the Feds is poised to keep the rates. Now, what's something today? Something about the governor. But it was something that was said. Oh well. I was just going to add it to it. I don't feel like making another one. But all speaking the same thing. People losing their jobs. People losing their interest. People are losing a lot. Right? So it's going to get to the point where people is going to take matters into their own hand. Because it's not enough. People are accustomed of a certain type of lifestyle, and they're not able to live this lifestyle that they once had. So now they have to cut back and do less spending, which entails take a lot of businesses out of the equation. All right. A famous spot around my way, for the first time since I've been living around this area, I had closed down in 2 days with no proper explanation. They didn't even tell the staff anything of why they did it for. And this is they make money. So things are changing rapidly. Okay? And then you have the Fed now that's supposed to launch in July. All right? And then the real deal is supposed to hit in the fall. So it hits around, everything's going to really hit around the time of winter. See? So everything's coming to plan. Everything's coming to motion. It says, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong man shall bow themselves, and the grinding cease, which is what? Jobs. Because they are few, and those that look out the windows be darkened. And what's looking out the window? The future. The future is looking real bleak right now for everybody. All right? It's looking real dark. Because now, more than ever, there's no nest egg. There's not enough money to be put out there. All right, and they say, they said that the America's gonna run out of dollars soon. So it's all heading to the perfect storm. It says, and the doors shall be shut, which we seen a small token of that during 2020. That's why I was mentioning it, where stores that you never thought was closed would have been closed. Okay, it says, in the street, when the sound of the grinding is low, because they cutting back. McDonald's is cutting back. Burger King is gonna cut down 4 stores. Walmart, the big names, not the little guys, the big names franchises are cutting back. Okay, so the grinding is low. So when reading that article, when he said that the economy is good, that's a lie in itself. That's a lie in itself. I don't, like Apostle Todd said, you can't see past 2024 because shit is about to hit the fan. All right, can't see another election because shit is really about to get nasty out here. This is all under Biden's watch. It said, he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. So, and we in that time frame, man. Time is perfect. 2 Ezra 6 and 22. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. So stores, warehouses, and so forth, especially where they had a blockade in the West Coast for a long period of time, and the United States of America is using the reserves that's out there, and the reserves is not catching up. So the place that has had plenty is looking real dry right now. Okay? It says the full storehouses shall be suddenly found empty. And it's all about to be found empty because things are about to get bad. It says, and the trump shall give a sound, and when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. And at that time shall friends fight one against another, like enemies. So people, like the scripture says, my favorite scripture, I'm going to read it, because it's about to get serious out here. Matthew 24 and 12. It says, and because iniquity, which is sin, that's multiplied sin. All right? And we live in a sinful time where people become numb from what is right and what is wrong. Okay? So people have lost their, I guess I could say, the humanity. Because all the wicked deeds that they're doing, and they're getting away with a lot of this stuff scot-free. People are mutilating themselves. Okay? People are fighting one another, killing one another. Parents are killing children. Children killing parents. All right? And this is all started because the sins was just keep on multiplying. Because judgment was not presented. All right? It says, the love of many shall wax cold. And the love of many is waxing cold. People are cold-hearted towards one another. And we haven't even hit to the tough times right now. And people are cold-hearted towards one another. All right? So it says back in 2 Ezra 6 and 24, it says, at that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein, because things are about to change dramatically. especially in the shores of America. Okay, when people that live deliciously is not gonna live deliciously no more. It says, "And the springs of the fountain shall stand, and 3 hours they shall not run." Okay, and this is a future prophecy. Matter of fact, I'm not gonna make this long. Second Ezra 15 and 21, I believe. I gotta go up. Second Ezra 15 and 11. "But I will bring them with a mighty hand and stretch out an arm and smite Egypt with plagues." And guess what? It's not just talking about pestilence. Plagues are also going to be financial plagues. And everybody's is hooked to one thing. All right? Everything is becoming smart. So people are going to be financially strapped. They will no longer bear or have any form of way to get anything anymore. It says, but the Lord is about to plague this land as he plagued Egypt. And Egypt, think about it, when those plagues was taking place, there was no room for no commerce or anything. Because it was basically like you could say a national shutdown. All right, the Lord shut it down several times. One problem after next problem after next problem. It says, "As before, and I will destroy all the land thereof, and Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague, and the punishment of the Most High shall bring upon it. They that till the ground shall mourn." So they working for nothing, because there's gonna be no fruit for their labor. And like I see, all around I see nothing but construction work everywhere I go. But at the end of it all, that industry is gonna run out as well. All right. It says, "For their seed shall fail through the blasting and the hell, and with the fearful continents. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein," meaning death and destruction. "For the sword and destruction draweth nigh. And one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands." So what would make people lose it to that form, to lose their humanity, so to speak? Things have to be very dire for people to get to that point, because people driving to wrong houses are getting blasted. All right. So what's going to make people go that far? The lack of everything. It says, "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power." So whoever have the most arms is going to dictate the rules. All right. It says, "A man should desire to go into a city," which is talking about twofold: martial law, also smart cities, where they can monitor everything that you're spending. That's why you have the Fed now coming along. There's going to be a crash into the system, and they're going to try to get rid of all the cash, and then they're going to start with this new system. And in order to get into these cities, you're going to have certain devices, a certain device to get by. But before that, they want to pass this Fed now and monitor everybody's spending. All right, so this is going to hit in all angles. It could be martial law. It's definitely, we know it's talking about the 15-minute cities and so forth, smart cities. It said, "It shall not be able," all right, because there's going to be different rules and regulation. "For because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled, and the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. And a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and great tribulation." Which the tribulation eventually is going to start because of what? The lack of finances. Recession. The recession leading to a greater depression. Lack of food. Because no food is going to come in. Nobody's going to work with nothing. All right? All this stuff is coming, man. All coming back to back. So, you know what? That being said, that's all I'm gonna bring out for this one. So no one of your brothers edify. We are there. We are there. They don't want to use the R word right now when they use it at a certain time, showing that this whole market has been a scheme, and it's gonna really show its true self real soon. And they're telling the people it's not bad like you think it is. When the government and the news says it's not bad as you think it is, it's far worse than you think. And then when they tell you the bad times are coming, that means it's going to be a lot worse when the bad times are coming. So prepare yourselves. And how about Shemel shall be with all of us? That's why we sacrifice our time, our energy, and the Lord's going to reciprocate that. When the world's going to be starving, we're going to be eating. When the people don't know what to do, the Lord's going to guide us. So we good. So with that being said, shalom to the elect in the nations, and shalom.